Oh no, it just stabbed this other one. I was just poking it, then I realized, oh no, I just stabbed it. Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet a cute little narwhal, which can also easily be a whale if you just make it without the horn. I have a written version of the pattern, which I will link in the description below, so if you prefer to see it written down, you can check that out. But let's get started. So for materials, you'll need worsted weight yarn in white and a body color. You will also need a crochet hook. This one is size G or 4mm. If you don't have this exact size, if you use something similar, it should work out okay. You'll also need something for the eyes. I'm using these little safety eyes. They kind of like snap on, but you can also use buttons or beads, or you can even sew on eyes with black thread. You'll also need some stuffing. So starting with white and the slip knot on our crochet hook, we're going to chain 2. In the bottom chain, or the second chain from the hook, we're going to single crochet 6. So that's this one right here in the bottom, where it's just going to go into it and single crochet 6 into the same stitch. So 1, go back in again to the same spot, 2, and continue till you've done 6. So now you can count and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that we have those 6 on there, we're going to take a stitch marker and put that in the stitch that we just did. Just kind of hook it in there, and this will help us to keep track of what's the first stitch in the row. So if you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a paper clip or a safety pin or something like that. So the next step, we're going to increase in every of the stitches that we just did. So an increase is 2 single crochet and 1 stitch. So kind of like how we just did 6 single crochet in that one spot. In each of the stitches, we're going to do 2 single crochet in those, and that's called an increase. So we'll go right in to our first stitch down here. And I think I'm a little tight, and there we go. So we do 1, then go back into the same one and do another. So that's called an increase. And then the one that the stitch marker is in, that was the last one of the previous row. So this is the last one that we need to do. So take the stitch marker off, and we will do the increase in this last stitch, and then we'll put it right back on. And once you do that, you'll have 12 stitches all the way around. So next, we are going to single crochet, then increase, and repeat that all the way around the row. So we'll single crochet, and then increase, which is 2 single crochet and 1 stitch. So single crochet and increase, and just continue that all the way around. So now you'll have 18 stitches all the way around. The next step, we are going to do 2 single crochet, then increase. So you go 1, go to the next one, and 2, and then increase. and repeat that all the way around, except pause when you get to your last stitch. I'm going to explain how to change color. So keep doing it right until the last one. So your last stitch right here is going to be an increase because it's single crochet 2 then increase, but we're also going to change color during the middle of this. I like to change color before the start of the next row. If you do it on the last stitch of the previous row, I think it makes for a little bit of a smoother color transition. So we'll take our stitch marker off and we'll do 1 single crochet like normal. And since this is an increase, we're going to be going back into that stitch. So go in, grab the yarn, pull it through, and instead of grabbing the yarn and pulling it through again, we're going to take our second color and we're going to pull our second color through instead. So this will help give it a smoother transition to the next color. So before we do anything else, let's put our stitch marker back. Then we can cut the old yarn, which would be the white. And then take the tail of the new yarn and the cut end of the old yarn and just tie it together a couple of times. This will just make sure nothing comes loose later on. And there we go. You can trim the ends if you'd like so they don't get in the way. Let's do that. And then we can continue in the next row with our new color. So for the next row, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch across, but we're going to be doing it in the back loop. So what that means is when you look at, see if I can get this clearly here. If you notice how there's 2 loops, I'll show you, there's a loop right here and there's also a loop back there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to crochet into the back loop. So instead of going in like that, we're just going to grab the back loop right there. So it's just single crochet like normal, but just in the back loop. So again, you can see we're going in to the back loop only. And again, so you can see here's the front loop right there, and we're just going into the back one. So it's just single crochet in the back loop for each stitch around. So when you finish the row, you can see the little ridges that working the back loop left. So there's little kind of ridge all along here. For the next row, we're going to be doing some normal and some in the back loop. And the reason why we do this is if we do some of them in the back loop, it'll give us something to grab onto. It'll give us that ridge to grab onto when we add the tail, the fins, and the horn. So for this next row, single crochet 3 in the back loop. And next we are going to single crochet 4 like normal. That means going into both loops. So the next two we're going to do in the back loop, and then we're going to single crochet 9 like normal. So then we're going to do 2 more in the back loop, and then just single crochet the rest like normal. So next we're going to do 2 single crochet and then a decrease. So I'll show you how to do that. So first, just 2 single crochet like normal, and then we're going to do a decrease, which is 2 single crochet together. So we go into the first one, grab the yarn, pull it through, and instead of grabbing the yarn and pulling it through again, we're going to go into the second one, grab the yarn, pull it through, then grab the yarn again and pull it through all 3. And that's how you single crochet 2 together. And I'll show you that again. So single crochet 2 like normal, and then decrease. So go into first one, grab the yarn, pull it through, go into the second one, grab the yarn, pull it through, then grab the yarn again and pull it through all 3. So that is a decrease or a single crochet 2 together. So repeat around 2 single crochet and then decrease, 2 single crochet, then decrease until you get to the end of the round. So for the next row, we're going to start by single crocheting 10 stitches. So the next 2 you're going to do in the back loop like we did before. So 1 in the back loop and then 1 more in the back loop, and then just single crochet the rest like normal. Actually, I almost forgot to mention, if you're just making a whale and not a narwhal, then those 2 you just did in the back loop, then just do those 2 like normal. This right here is to give us a little ridge for us to put the horn on. So if you're just doing a normal whale with no horn, then just single crochet those 2 like normal and not in the back loop. So next we're going to single crochet, then decrease, cross. So just single crochet and decrease. And just repeat that all the way around. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and decrease. So next we're going to put on the eyes. So you can just pull this out and set your crochet hook aside for the moment, and I'll show you where we're going to put the eyes on. So see the 3 ridges here, these 3 purple ridges? That's where the tail is going to be. And then if you turn, there's 2 ridges here, and that's going to be the fin. And then in the front, you can see those 2 ridges right there, that's the horn. So it's facing this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the eyes just a little bit above and in front of the fins. So we see these 2 ridges right here where the fin is. Put the eyes like about there. It's a little bit above and a little bit in front. If you want to, you can put your eyes somewhere else but this is where how I position them for this narwhal. So once you've got the eyes in, you can go ahead and take your stuffing and start stuffing it. So when you're done stuffing it, just put your crochet hook back into this loop and tighten it. And now we're ready to go ahead and finish this off. So the next step is to decrease across the entire thing. So it's just gonna one decrease after the other till we get to the end. So once that's done, just take your hook out, cut the yarn, and make sure you leave a long tail so it can sew up that little hole. Then take the yarn, put it through the hoop, the little loop, and pull, and this will finish it off and knot the end. And then take your yarn and thread it in a yarn needle, and basically just sew this hole together and finish it off. And then when it's sewn together and you have this tail left, just poke it through the body somewhere. And then cut it off. And now we have the body for our little narwhal done. So to do the tail, we're gonna turn it around to the back and flip it upside down. So you see these three ridges that we left back here. See, there's the front, there's the back. So what we're going to do is take our crochet hook and we're going to go into this first one right here. And then join the yarn, which is taking the yarn, pulling it through. And so in this first stitch, we're going to start with a half double crochet. So to do that, wrap the yarn around the hook like that, go into this stitch, the first one that we were just in. We're going to go back into there. One moment. There we go. And then we're going to grab the yarn, pull it through the first one like that, then grab the yarn again and pull it through all three. So that is a half double crochet. Now we're going to do 2 double crochet still in the same stitch right here. So to do double crochet, wrap the yarn around the hook like that. We're going to go into the stitch, that same one, grab the yarn, pull it through the first one. So you can see we got 3 loops on there. What we're going to do is grab the yarn, pull it through the first 2 loops. So you can see that we pulled it through the first 2 loops, and we still have that one there. We're going to grab the yarn again and pull it through the last 2. And that is a double crochet. So we're going to do one more double crochet and still in the same stitch. So wrap the yarn around the hook like that, go into the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through that first one. We're going to grab the yarn, pull it through the first 2 loops, grab the yarn again, and pull it through the last 2. And that is another double crochet. Now we're going to do one more stitch in the same stitch. So we're going to do another half double crochet in the same stitch. So wrap the yarn around the hook, go into still the same stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through 1, and then grab the yarn and pull it through all 3. And that's a half double crochet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to this next stitch right here and just do a slip stitch, which is where you just grab the yarn and pull it through everything. Just, there we go. So that's a slip stitch. Now we're going to go into hold on. Oh, yep. Okay, whoops. We're going to go into our last ridge right there, and we are going to do a slip stitch again. So just go under, grab the yarn, pull it straight through both. And now we're going to do a half double crochet in this stitch. So wrap the yarn around, go through the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through 1, grab the yarn, pull it through all 3. Now we're going to do 2 double crochet in this last stitch. So wrap the yarn around, go through the hole, grab the yarn, pull it through 1, grab the yarn, pull it through the first 2, then grab the yarn and pull it through the last 2. And one more. Wrap the yarn around, go into the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through that first one, grab the yarn, pull it through the first 2, and we're going to grab the yarn and pull it through the last 2. So next is we're going to be doing a half double crochet. So the yarn, go through the stitch, pull it through 1, grab the yarn again, pull it through all 3 stitches. So that was a half double crochet, and to finish off the tail, we're just going to do a final slip stitch into this same stitch. So go in, grab the yarn, and pull it directly through everything, like that. So you can see we've made this little tail shape. So just take your crochet hook off, cut the yarn, pull it through, and just knot it like that. And then just take your yarn needle, and we're just going to thread the tail. We're just going to hide the end through the body again. So just finishing it off, pull it through. And cut. And then do the same thing with the other tail. So now we've got the cute little tail on there. So we're going to go ahead and add the fins. So make sure the white part is facing up. We'll take our crochet hook. We're going to go into the first one. And join the yarn. So grab it, pull it through. And we are going to chain 3 stitches. So chain 1, chain 2, and then chain 3. And then all we have to do is go into the next ridge and do a slip stitch. And there you have a little fin. So just cut the yarn, knot it, and thread it through. So then just cut the yarn, knot it, and thread the tail ends through the body like we did for making the tail. So we're going to make the other fin the same way. So turn it around like that, and with the white part facing up. Then go into the first ridge, join the yarn, and then single crochet, not single crochet, chain 3, and then slip stitch into the second ridge. And then just cut the yarn and finish off. So now we're almost done with our cute little narwhal. So what we're going to do is flip it over again, white part facing up. We're going to put our crochet hook in under that first ridge. This time we're going to take the white yarn and join. So what we're going to do first is chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So once you have 7, we're going to slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. So not this first one right here, but the second one. Just do a slip stitch, which is grabbing the yarn and pulling it directly through both of them. So now we're going to do another slip stitch into the next stitch. And then single crochet to the next stitch. And we are going to do 2 more single crochet. So 1, go into the next stitch and do another single crochet. So the last thing is just slip stitch into the last ridge. And there we have a little horn. So let's just cut the yarn and finish off and sew in the tails. So there we have it. That's how you make a cute little narwhal. And if you make two of them, you can make them do little sword fights, which is fun. Ting, 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 stab. So now I have two new little narwhals added into my ever-growing narwhal family. I shall forever be the narwhal queen. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos, subscribe, stick around. I have more tutorials coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.